So first of all, what is the circular bioeconomy story of Gramitherm?
Okay, so Gramitherm is a long story, and Gramitherm belongs to this bioeconomy because we really transform waste, green waste, into construction material. So our job is to cut, collect grass, the grass that is waste, okay, so natural grass with no valorization, no use anymore, and we use that biomass, that material, we do transform it because of our patent and technology into grass fibers, and with these grass fibers, we mix, we do produce and manufacture the Gramitherm thermal insulating bats for the building, new construction, renovation. So more than just to produce a panel, or DNA is to transform waste, green waste, into a positive impact product for the construction. And that is our mission. And this is why Gramitherm is not just a product, but Gramitherm is a solution to use a very efficient biomass, very available everywhere in the world, and to make it with a carbon or the thermal insulation in the building. And that is the circular economy, that is the concept that is exactly the same since day one of Gramitherm. And Gramitherm started 12 years ago in Lausanne, in Switzerland, close to the EPFL, École Polytechnique Fédérale de Lausanne. And this is the first day of Gramitherm. And the idea is very simple. Looking at grass in the prairie, somebody, the inventor, asked himself, why not to use this and to test the potential for thermal insulation with these green prairies that will probably change the world. Here we are.
That's great. And what are the advantages of the grass fiber insulation compared to the fossil, for instance, the fossil counterparties?
Very easy for this product, and I will show you the panel just behind me. You will remember 4 points. Number one, using grass fibers for the insulation, a very high performance in thermal insulation, okay? Which is the basis of our business. So we are efficient against cold weather. That seems logic. But Gramitherm, as the bio-based product, is highly performing against the summer heat and the very hot temperature. And so that is key point. And more than that, we have the top of the class heat shifting time. So when this is very hot outside, it is important that the heat does not enter inside the home too quickly. And so for a panel 200 millimeter thickness, we will take more than 10 hours to capture, to block the heat before going inside. So having said that, that is excellent, this performance to reduce energy consumption because of the climatization and all these systems. So that is the first point. We are good for the thermal insulation, for the cold and the heat. Okay. Second point, you will always remember, because this is really the DNA of this product, like all other bio-based products, the natural fibers, because of the nature, have a unique capacity to regulate humidity. So imagine you put a mineral wool type of product in your home for insulation. If there is any humidity conflict, you will lose a lot of thermal efficiency years after years because of the humidity. Humidity will impact and will deteriorate the glass fibers or the stone fibers. With the bio-based products, especially with Gramitherm, we have a unique capacity to absorb humidity, to reject humidity. So that is excellent for interior comfort.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what we do need. Have a long point number one, highly efficient against cold and heat. Point number two, we are excellent for humidity regulation. So when you buy Gramitherm, you're good for 50 years and plus, no problem. We will reject the humidity, take the humidity, reject the humidity without any deterioration of the fibers. This is not magic, this is the nature. Point number three, we are very easy to cut, to install. No gloves, no mask. Well, you can take mask for the COVID-19, but you don't need special equipment, safety equipment to cut, install Gramitherm. This is a healthy product, very easy and fast to install. Okay, no irritation, and that is very important for all the people taking and working with this type of product. Mm-hmm. And finally, if I do this Gramitherm story, if we belong to the bioeconomy, this is also because we are a carbon negative solution. Why? Are we a magician? No, not really. The grass in the nature is the fast cycle of reconstitution. So the grass has a unique capacity to absorb a lot of CO2 in a very short period of time. And because we collect this grass, we will valorize everything in the grass. So you have a liquid part, and the liquid, the grass juice, we use this for the biogas station. Okay, we will use the liquid as an energy booster for the biogas. And because we need only the solid part, the grass fibers, to dry, for the drying process, we use the energy coming from the biogas. So the gray energy to produce Gramitherm and the grass fiber is very low because of the technology and because of good valorization of the grass juice, giving us a competitive advantage in this point. So at the end of the day, when you take a life cycle analysis from really a cradle to cradle analysis, we are carbon negative. 1 kilo of this small product absorbs 1.5 kilo equivalent of CO2. So when you know that in the world of the construction, the challenge for the next 30 years is to reduce carbon emissions, reduce the CO2 emissions, and more than that, to trap CO2. And Gramitherm is a perfect answer to this challenge, using available biomass everywhere with no deterioration of soil and ground, and with a positive impact solution.
That's fantastic. And just a question that was not in my question, but I'm curious. So you need dedicated fields, or you are using the grass that is growing in already existing fields?
Good point. We can produce Gramitherm with all types of grass. Because of our mission, we only take natural grass, so meadow grass from prairie, and we use Gramitherm grass from, from the wetlands. This is a very important part here in the Benelux, but we use also grass coming from airports. You know that to maintain airports is very important for safety,
Yes.
for the flights. So we can use this biomass. We use also biomass from the public domains, parks,
The cities also
side
could be.
road type of material, and so everything is possible with this biomass. What we do need a regular deliveries and supply, okay, in a certain quantity. So if you cut your garden in Roma and that you bring me with 1,000 of your neighbors grass every Monday morning, that will be a little bit complicated for us, for a logistic point of view, for a non-stable material. But anywhere, we can use a lot of different sourcing.
Of course, one of the best impact of bioeconomy is the fact that it is local, and so it valorizes what are the local resources. And what are the application? Because you already told us insulation. And typically, what type of insulation is the best application?
Just before answering that question, you mentioned bioeconomy local. This is the key of this concept. Why is the key? Because when we cut grass, there is need to transport grass long distance, because we do transport water. And when we have this finished good, very light, there is no sense to transport the Gramitherm bats long distance, because we transport air. So Gramitherm is a global business, but needs to be managed locally or by region. And that is very important what you mentioned. Gramitherm, we understand Gramitherm when we understand that we must find the ecosystem in every region, and then we implement our process, and we can succeed. Okay, so that is my comment. Back to your question, we use Gramitherm for every single use of insulation for the interior of the home. Okay, so Gramitherm is the number one use is ceilings, attics, because of the heat control. So because of this property, our number one use is ceilings, roof insulation, and then we use a Gramitherm for the walls, for the partitions business, and we can use also Gramitherm for the floor in between the wood beams. Gramitherm is not a rigid board, this is a flexible board. So this is really to fulfill in between wood structure or metallic structure, but we go everywhere in a building. But Gramitherm is much more adapted for the interior insulation than the exterior. It is possible, but in that case, for exterior, it must be combined with some cladding and some wood structure that is very specific.
Okay, we have a good overview. There could be thousands of additional questions, but unfortunately we have a short time. So thanks, Gramitherm people, for your contribution to the sustainability, and thanks a lot for your time.